Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jeff, and today we are going to have some fun playing Magic. And the fun thing that we are trying to do today is all based around this card right here, Sigiled Sword of Valeron. And so this card is an artifact equipment. So you pay 3 to bring it down on the battlefield, then you pay 3 more to put it onto a creature, and that creature gets +2/+0, has vigilance, and is a knight in addition to its other types. And then whenever this equipped creature attacks, you create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance that's attacking as well. All right, so we're trying to build around this card and try to do some super fun things, and it is actually super powerful. And with this, but what we need to do to make sure that it is powerful is making sure that we're not just creating the one 2/2 knight token. So we put in a couple of Anointed Procession, where that's the anointed part of the name comes in, which Anointed Procession says if an effect would create one or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many of those tokens instead. So if we get one, maybe 2 of these out on the battlefield as we're attacking with the Sword of Valeron or the equipped creature there, then we're creating multiple attacking knights and possibly creating 8 damage worth of vigilance tokens coming in at their face. So super powerful there. And then we're just trying to build everything else around this, which is super fun. So Valduk is really fun. It creates tokens whenever you have equipment attached to it anyway. So we're creating lots more tokens with the Anointed Procession. And then we're just playing a bunch of different artifact equipment and aura type things that create tokens as well, that makes things better. So the only card that really doesn't fit perfectly within this whole theme, I would say, is this Champion of Flame, but it works so well with everything else that we're doing that we can just win early games just by playing him and getting in really quick. It also sometimes gets the removal out of our opponent's hand, which is really useful, although we try not to get blown out by it as well. Playing Danitha as well here, and then we're playing, of course, the one of Helm of the Host because I love this card. It's so fun. And when we're already creating extra tokens, Helm of the Host can go crazy on this, especially if we're attaching it to a Valduk or anything like that. We are playing a few 4 of History of Benalia, which also creates more knights and buffs all of our knights as well. So that is the other side of this Sigil Sword of Valeron, is that it does make it turn into a knight. So we're trying to use every single part of this. So of course we have to throw in the History of Benalia, which works well with the Anointed Procession if it comes down a later game. Creates a lot of bodies on the battlefield for the early game as well. And then it gives all of our knights +2/+0 on its third counter. And really just makes things super powerful, especially if we give them first strike or anything like that. So this is a super fun deck, and I've had quite a bit of success with it already. And unfortunately, I did record once, but I had a ton of background noise. So hopefully this one works out just as well. All right, so we are going to get into the gameplay. If you like the deck, please give the video a like, and that lets me know that you guys like more stuff like this, and I'll try to make more things very similar to it. So without further ado, let's get into the matches. All right, here we are with game number 1, and I think we do keep this. This actually looks all right. We're able to get to our red mana, white mana. Champion Flame is pretty good. We're hoping to draw into something to play on him, but we'll keep this. I mean, 2 mana hands are always rough to keep, but I usually keep them anyway because, I mean, look at my name. My name is Kamikaze Jeff, so I always go all in, and that's just my style of play. But here we go. All right, so we're going to crack Evolving Wilds, grab us a mountain, hopefully draw into a land in the next couple turns here. All right, so Tilonalli I love a lot in this deck. She's super fun as well, and I think that we may actually throw her down instead of these Champion of Flames. You know what? The value of having it down. Oh man, let's see here. Yeah, we'll go ahead and play the Champion of Flame first, and pass the turn. Opponent plays an island. All right, so Grixis here. All right, good. We drew into a mountain there, which is fantastic. We are going to go ahead and play. We're going to play the sword first. Trying to get in 1 more point of damage before they try to burn this guy out. All right, so they're going to go ahead and Magma Spray. That's totally fine. We would have had to pay 3 more before equipping it or anything as well. So we're okay with that right there. All right, so Evolving Wilds is good as well. We're going to be able to get into our white source here, which we do need 2 white mana for the History of Benalia, if we draw into that. And I think that I mean, I'm kind of expecting another burn spell here, but I think we go ahead and play this Champion of the Flame. And we're just going to try to build a Value Town board here with equipment, you know, with Helm of the Host, that kind of stuff. Get it all down so that when we do decide to go off, we can. All right, so get another sword. That is one thing about playing too many of these swords in here. I'm only running 3, but they aren't very good being redundant. I don't really like playing too many of them here. So I think what we do is we're going to play. All right, we're gonna play the Tilonalli, and we will pass turn. Opponent plays Swamp, plays the Scarab God. Uh-oh. All right, we will let that resolve. And I guess we're hoping to draw into our cast outs here. Okay, go to my turn. Oh, hey, look at that. There is a cast out. So we will flash in a cast out. Hit the Scarab God. Go attacking. Decline to pay nothing. And pass turn. Sunbird's Invocation. All right, awesome. So we do have a turn here to do some stuff. Clifftop Retreat comes in. So one thing we could do is we can... So the cool thing about these knights is that they stay on the board. And so I actually want to spend some time here equipping that. So I'm going to pay... make sure I'm using the planes for that, so that I have some red mana to go swinging. So we're going to swing in. So we're going to be swinging in for 6 damage, I think, altogether. Paying 1. We aren't able to hold up the Abrade, but I think that's okay here. They may draw into something even better here, but I think going wide is what we need, especially now that we have City's Blessing. We can do quite a bit of work next turn. If we draw into an untapped land, we might even play the second sword. So Primal Amulet. Okay, this is actually pretty good here. Okay, so untapped land is awesome. And so we can create 5 elemental tokens. So we do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus 5 is 13. So I think that we actually win here. So we're just going to go attacking. So all out attack, we are going to pay 5. So take action. Yeah, 5. So red, pay 5, and I believe that's exactly 0. So there we go. That is exactly so. Oh man! All right, so that was awesome. They did get unlucky with what they ran into with their Sunbirds. They definitely needed some sort of blocker. I think they were hoping for another Scarab God, but we got the answers at the right time, and you can see the power of Tilonalli Summoner there. Awesome. All right, let's go into one more game. All right, here we are again in Arena Standard, and we are playing Anointed Sword of Tokens, or otherwise known as Sigiled Sword of Valeron, I believe it's called. And let's see here. Pretty slow hand. If we draw into a land for History of Benalia, this is amazing. So again, keeping 2 hands, we're on the play, but I'm going to go ahead and keep this, hoping to draw into any sort of land here. And we'll pass the turn. Alright, Cartouche of Zeal isn't terrible. We're definitely, I mean, we want land, though. That is absolute the thing we want. Worst case scenario, though, we can at least swing in with an extra, like swing in for 2. Opponent plays Island. They play Servant of the Conduit. All right, so we can't really attack in unless we draw land. All right, perfect. That actually helps us a ton. So Champion of the Flame. Again, if we drew land there, we could have Cartouche as well. So no attackers. Opponent plays Bristling Hydra. Comes down. All right. And so it can get hexproof as well. So we actually are probably going to... we're going to target it with this Cartouche. Ooh, okay. So, I mean, just playing History of Benalia is definitely good as well. Like, there is something to be said about just getting those out quick, creating a big board. But I also kind of want to draw into one more land for Anointed Procession as well. And we actually do okay. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to play Cartouche onto Champion of the Flame. We're going to target this. Hopefully, we're actually hoping that they pay the energy so it loses its ability to become hexproof. All right, so they're going to pay, so it's no longer. So we no attacks. That's totally fine. They're losing their energy to do so, and they will be able to swing in. But we're just hoping for land into Anointed Procession, I think, and then we just start going off with History of Benalia's, and I think that we'll be able to run them over pretty quick. And I think we're even possibly okay trading here with a Champion of Flame. Ooh, giving him flying. All right, that's bad. All right, so now, and they do have enough energy to give it hexproof again. All right, so we need to go, I think, a bit more aggressive to even have a chance now. All right, gaining life is awesome here. All right, so that definitely helps us here. So we are going to put Squire's Devotion, make him even bigger, create a vampire, and we'll be gaining quite a bit of life each turn now. So 7 life. So swing in, 4/7, gain 7 life, and it does have trample, so they can block here, but we're still going to be doing damage to their face as well. So, I mean, we are winning the race as is, and we have some life-linking blockers as well. All right, opponent plays Ronus the Indomitable, so they can be swinging for a bit more here. Unfortunately, now we do get killed by the Death Touch. So again, we have to try to find an answer for one of these guys. So, I mean, we're hoping, I mean, cast out, we need land for anyway. I guess we just start going on the tons of History of Benalia's plan. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's all we got. So, I mean, we can build super wide here. And then hopefully just go crazy. So he can block there, so we would gain 7, but then die. So I think that we go no attackers here and pass the turn. They will swing in again for 6. We're going to play another History of Benalia. So we have plenty of blockers for the Ronus, so we may have to swing in just to make sure they don't get too big. All right. Electrostatic Pummeler, that is bad for us. That guy... My favorite deck in Standard is actually the red-green Pummeler deck. So I definitely know how this guy works. He's super fun, and I've seen him swing in for 160 damage at one time before. So it's super fun. All right, so they are pretty close to being able to just win next turn. I mean, they have it on board between counters and Ronus Pump with this guy. So, and Hadana's Climb. Yee, all right, this is getting rough. So he has nothing on board now. So we have to swing in for 7 to gain life. So I think what we do is we play another History of Benalia. We are going to swing in for 7 because we are dead otherwise. They can flip this Hadana's Climb next turn as well. So, I mean, we may just be dead here anyway. Yeah, I think with Hadana's Climb... This is a really fun version of this deck. I kind of like the counters and Ronus Pump for Electrostatic. I actually really like this deck so far. I mean, they have 2 ways to go really powerful right now with this. I think if they drew into a land, they could swing in for 20 trample there and 6 here. But as is, all they have to do is use counters twice. Okay, so they have that as well. Yeah, we're going to say good game. Because we know they have the Ronus as well. They're going to give a counter there. We'll let them swing out, though. I just want to see how big it gets. All right, so we block. I mean, it won't change a thing because he pumps twice here. He goes to 12-12, and then he goes to 24-24 with trample. Oh, and a blossoming defense. Yeah, he has everything. I mean, he could have, yeah. Yeah, so 32-32. And we go down to -17. All right, so he had us multiple ways there. I think their deck just played exactly how they wanted to. You know what? Let's go for one more game. Yeah, before we go to the wrap up. So here we are in Arena Standard, and we are playing Anointed Sword of Tokens, otherwise known as the Sigiled Sword of Valeron. That's so much harder to say. So we're just going to stick with Anointed Sword of Tokens. And this looks like a pretty good hand, actually. So, I mean, we're turn 3 everything, but I mean, 2 History of Benalias into Danitha, I think is pretty good. So we're going to keep this. Opponent's going first, so we are on the draw, which is pretty slow, but we're okay with that. Unless it is aggro, which can be pretty bad. Which gives us reason to maybe play Danitha first for the first strike ability. But we are going to play Inspiring Vantage, pass the turn. What is this? Giant Spectacle. Enchanted creature has +2/+1 and has Menace. Interesting. So this is definitely a janky version of this, but so what we're going to do, we're going to play Plains, we're going to play Champion of Flames, and pass the turn. And I think that we go History of Benalia. You know, actually, no, we play Danitha to be able to block. All right, so Gutter Snipe with Auras and Menace, and what in the world is this deck? This is just as aggro as it gets. All right, Stone Quarry, not very good here. So we play Clifftop Retreat, and we will play Danitha. So no attacker. So now we have a way to kill the Bomat Courier. They play land. They play double cast into what? This is Lightning Strike. Okay, so Lightning Strikes Danitha and then our face. All right, so I think this is just like the perfect hand for this deck. This actually looks super fun. I might have to try this out. I don't think I'd ever even seen that card. Gives him Menace. All right, so Cartouche here. So I think what we do is we play History of Benalia. Create that guy, play Cartouche of Zeal onto Champion of the Flame. Make him a 4/4. Target creature can't block this turn. And we need to stay back as blocking for this Bomat Courier. I mean, he's probably just going to swing in and sack it anyway. But we can't afford to lose any life right now. So no attackers. And I think we're just hoping for a Squire's Devotion for lifelink. Swing in for 7 lifelink. And I mean, that's, I think, our only way to turn this game around. Okay, so they shock down to 2. And do they have another shock or lightning strike? Okay, yeah, they have the game. All right, so good game, opponent. They got the exact hand they needed here. Yeah, that was really fun, though. That was pretty cool. All right, so there you have it with Anointed Sword of Tokens. And we got one game that we did pretty well there, and then we kind of got blown out by a pummeler. And so this deck is pretty powerful. Like, honestly, it's a lot more consistent than than it looks. And part of that is part of the History of Benalia's, you know, playing a lot of just things that create tokens. And when you have tokens, you go later game. And then the rest of this is because we are going later game, we just start creating some extra value with everything that we have on the board. And of course, our biggest blowouts are big board wipes, that kind of thing. But yeah, so this deck is pretty good. And we didn't see the best of matches there, but I actually am pretty impressed with this deck. So I hope you guys liked it too. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and we will see you next time.